Hi, welcome to Psychic.biz Live, and I'm Ace Knight, and tonight we're going to be talking about common mistakes made in relationships. And also, we're going to be taking your questions and comments in chat. So feel free to pop those in. We do have with us a large group of psychics tonight, internationally, all the way from UK to Canada, all the way over to Denver, Colorado. So here we go. And with us tonight, starting off, is TJ. So I'm going to pass it to TJ and let him do his introduction.
Hello there, my name's TJ. I am a psychic, of course, a card reader, law of attraction coach, life coach, you name it, I've probably done it. Obviously, I'm perfect, so I've never made any mistakes in relationships. No, I'm joking. I could probably fill a whole 2 shows just myself. We are all available on Psychic.biz, and I'm going to hand you over to my bestie, Resmeranda.
Thank you, Bestie TJ. I am also a card reader and a psychic on Psychic.biz, and I love to talk to anybody about what their questions are, especially in regard to relationships and communication and what somebody's really up to, and especially how you can proceed on your life path to make yourself strong, powerful, informed, aware, and happy. It's all about you being happy, isn't it? I think we need to stop feeling guilty about being happy. So let's get those relationship questions answered tonight so you have the power. And see, we know stuff because, in speaking for myself personally, because I made all the mistakes already. So that's how I know that I can help you out, right? So I'm going to turn this over to Raina, darling.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Well, I am over on Psychic.biz as well. Pleasure to be there. And I'm an energy reader. I am a medium. I do use cards as well, but I do like to use energy work in my readings. And I agree with you. You know, at a certain age, you've kind of experienced a lot of things. You know, some things can be just predictable with common sense. At the same time, it's really important to use your intuition when it comes to relationships and even potential relationships. So many times we get caught up that we forget to look at the signs and the signals that we're getting from other people. And we really need to stay keyed into, okay, what are the red flags going on here? What am I getting here? And I think that's really important for all of us. And hopefully one of our goals that we can achieve tonight is kind of help you tune into that a little bit too. Plus share a little bit about first date experiences as well. And Miss Sonia, let me introduce you, this powerhouse.
Thank you, Miss Rain. You know, one of the most important thing about relationships, and of course I'm on Psychic.biz, I always go into the whole spiel instead of introducing myself. I'm an intuitive. That's the gift or the skill that I have, and then that spills into shamanic work and tarot readings, and tarot kind of gives you a view of what I've said. I'm on Psychic.biz at odd times, so I'm writing as well, so there's a whole bunch of stuff going on, but you know, I'm there. If you need an appointment, just drop me an email and I'll contact you. Relationship-wise, one of the most important, probably the most important thing in a relationship is when you meet the person, make sure that some of your warts are showing. If you try and cover up your warts, you know, they say warts and all. If you try and cover up all your stuff, when they meet you, then you're stuck trying to be Miss Princess or Mr. Handsome for the rest of the relationship, and you cannot relax. I know of a woman who started off the relationship with the makeup, with the hair and stuff. The guy thought she was the best thing ever. Wore the bra and everything. She went to bed with the makeup on, woke up in the morning, rushed to the bathroom, washed her face, put the makeup on. The man had never seen her without makeup. Okay? So then when you take the makeup off after 10 years and he passes out, you need to be aware that he didn't see you fully. So it's about opening yourself so the person can see all parts of you. Then they can get to know you. Then when you put the makeup on, they're like, oh boy, that's fantastic. So that's me. Asa?
I love that, Sonia. I absolutely love that. You know, you need to not cover up the warts. That's fantastic advice for starting a relationship.
Yeah. See, people are afraid of witches because the witches don't cover up their warts.
Yeah, that's right. And that brings up something else too. Why do we feel so much, I think maybe especially women, that we have to impress people so much, you know? Why do we have to, why do we think being ourselves isn't going to be enough? I think that's probably a bigger issue.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, somehow I think we're following nature because some of the most flamboyant birds in nature are usually that flamboyant because of their mating, right? But
That's
it's
true.
guys that are doing it. So,
There you go.
Hello.
I mean, can you see the guy with his hair and his zoot suit looking all fly trying to get you?
Yeah.
Yes.
My boyfriend looks in the mirror far more often than I do, I guarantee you.
Yeah.
Your boyfriend's cute though. That's why.
Well, yeah. Yeah. He's
Well,
an
you know,
Aries.
Jason.
Well, you know, let's kind of look at some common mistakes that happen when you first meet the person. You know, we brought up the showing off, or, you know, having the makeup and the hair done, and, you know, everything in place, and you rent the car, you know, so you don't show them the jalopy that you drive every day, that type of thing. But when you get to the date, I think two of the most common mistakes that I'm now seeing with clients is they bring their cell phone to the table, and halfway through the date, all they are texting on their phone or messaging on their phone.
Yeah.
That's an issue for me
Yeah.
in general,
Exactly.
and that just shows that you're not interested. The other one is that, you know, you've just met them and you're already planning the wedding.
Yeah, I know a few like that.
You know, so don't be planning the wedding. Just take it as a job applicational interview, because they're looking for a job to fill your life, to fill in your life. And if they don't hit all the check marks on the interview, bye-bye. And also, get from another one that aggravates the living crap out of me is when people go and they set up the date and they get there and they bring 40 other people with them.
Oh.
You know, and instead of it making it, you know, oh, let's have a group date, they're like, oh, let's have a date, and then, oh, I brought my friend Jen, and I brought this one, and I brought that one, and I brought that one. It's like, oh, dear God.
And by the way, you're paying.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Boy, that covers up nervousness, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'd like to say something on that, Asen, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
Do you mind?
Never.
You know, in all honesty, I also think it's the energy you put out there, okay? Because I have never had anybody ask me to pay. But there is no one who, you're going out with me, you're paying. Now, I'll cook if we get to that point, but if you're taking me out on a date, you're taking me out on a date. Now, am I snobby about it? No. But I think it, don't you think the energy sometimes?
I think it's the energy, but I also think how it's set up. I think that, you know, what we're looking at is two generational right here.
I
I
would
think we're
agree
looking
with
at
you on that one, too.
we're looking at two generations here, because we've got the traditional daters, which, you know, they come to the door, they pick you up, they bring you roses, they take you to the car, they open the door for you, you get in, they take you to the restaurant, they bring you home, they pay for the dinner. Those are the nice traditional ones. Then you have the modern, what I want to call metro ones that, you know, will meet you at the restaurant, will, you know, do all this other stuff, and it's like, okay, where's the romance of the first date?
Yeah.
It's just gone. What about you, TJ? What are some things you see in your clients that they do? And it's like, why did you do that?
I get a lot of people who have either met somebody once, not even had the date, or they've had the one date and they've maybe not heard from them for like 2 weeks because the date didn't go very well, and they want to know, how does he feel about me? How is he feeling? Or they've been communicating online through like an app or a dating site or something like that. They've not even met them, and they're saying, "Oh, I love you" to them. And I think no, because while love is energy, and you might feel that, you don't want to be spewing that out there 2 days into speaking on Tinder or something, do you? And I often have to maneuver people through that kind of situation. But I like what you're saying there, Ace, and I think that we do have this divide now. We've got this divide of people who still want to date traditionally, like myself, and people who want to do the "I'll meet you at the restaurant, wham bam, see you later" sort of thing. And I think that can cause problems. And I think that before you arrange the date or before you meet somebody, because online dating is probably more common, I would think now. I think that needs to be set out clearly what kind of dating it's going to be. Don't you, Miranda?
I do. I think it needs to, expectations need to be understood. Not that you need to go to somebody with, oh, this is my list of requirements and expectations, and you better meet them or piss off. But just that this is, talk about what you both like. What you're interested in. What kind of food do you like, or what kind of music do you like? Get to know each other a little bit, and I don't think we need to be so afraid of meeting people online. I met my boyfriend online, and we've been together for 12 years. But it's the new way that people are meeting each other. And so one of the things that's good about meeting people online, is that you have that in between you. You can be yourself. You don't need to put up a fake picture and do your hair and makeup and pretend that you're Beyonce and, say, hey, I'm the coolest thing since sneakers, and I'm really only 21 years old when you're 70. And, it happens.
It does, yeah.
But you have to, it's the perfect opportunity to get to know each other for real, even a little bit.
I agree completely.
Before you meet. So even if you didn't meet online, but you met through a friend or whatever, don't just jump in the first date and after 5 minutes after you meet somebody and say, well, hey, let's go get coffee somewhere. Let's get to know each other a little bit maybe before we call it dating or date. Maybe take time. I think what I'm really trying to say here is we need to be more patient. Patience. That's such a bad word. Patience.
It is.
It's really not an implement of torture. It's a tool. Get to know somebody a little bit. Let's start taking our time just a little bit and find out whether or not they're married, for God's sakes.
Yes.
Replays.
Oh, yeah.
Or have children,
Hello.
If they have children, that's an issue if you're not looking to be second fiddle.
Yeah.
Because children always take first fiddle, whether they're yours or somebody else's.
Absolutely.
And, I think with online dating, because relationships aren't like microwavable coffee where you just add water and stir.
Yeah.
I also think that you need to chat with those people for a little while. Because I know with mine, I chatted for at least 30 days before I even would agree to meet.
Yeah,
right.
8 months, yeah.
8 months,
Yeah.
It's not like, hi, how are you? You got an 8-week rule. I like the 8-week rule. That way you get to know them, and you can get to know the faces of them, because it's really good for somebody to be able to put on a persona for 5 conversations or 6 conversations.
Right.
But after that, their true colors are going to come out when you're chatting at 3 o'clock in the morning, and they've had a really bad day or whatever. And Divine Angel, who is in the chat room, brings up catfishing. And catfishing is a new modern issue. But really it isn't that modern, because you used to have it before when you would have your friend hook you up with their cousin, and that cousin, fell off a different tree, and it never branched out. So yeah, there's modern catfishing, which is where we just take out the middleman and put it back together.
What is catfishing?
Okay, catfishing is where they put on that persona that they are this person, maybe it's a model pic, and they are this size, and they have this income and this life, and then it really turns out they're none of that. It's a total false persona.
There's a show about it, Sonia.
Really?
Yes, it's called Catfish. It's on MTV.
Oh.
I didn't know that either. So I'm finding that sucker. Yeah.
I don't go online looking for dates. I've never tried it. It doesn't interest me because, of course, I can tell what their story is when I see their picture or their whatever. That guy's name isn't the person that
Oh, right. And I would like to say, too, about that, just quickly, Sonia. I'm sorry, but to get back to you in a second, they're dating sites. I didn't meet mine on a dating site, and I don't recommend anybody try and look for people on dating sites. You might as well go to a bar. It's it's not the place to meet somebody. Is whatever these Match dot, whatever. I'm desperate.com. Call me.
I'm on that
one.
That
is right. I'm sorry, Sonia. Go ahead.
No. Is there one called I'm desperate.com? Call me. Oh my goodness.
They need one like that. Because I did meet mine on it's a niche cultural dating app. And, for me, that worked really well. And I'm going to say this because, I'm kind of out of the closet anyway. You straight people have it all messy. You put all your people in one big bucket. It's like, no, the gay culture, we kind of have our little niche sites. It's like, okay, if you want this type of a relationship with this type of person, go onto this app. So I don't know how you guys sort that out.
Now you're just showing off.
Maybe it's part of being heterosexual is that there are too many options, so you're going to just jump into the ocean full of catfish and all sorts of other things. And see which one you can catch instead of making a choice as to the direction. Specifically, I'd like a perch, but you jump in and catching catfish instead of perch.
That's when you're really scraping it.
A lot of people, they just cast a wide net. Instead of deciding what it is they want or what type of relationship they want. And when they come to me, and it's literally the law of attraction, when they come to me, we talk about what do you want? So what I do is I actually get them to define themselves for me. Write down your list of how you see yourself, all the good stuff. And when they've done it, I say, okay, now, look at the list and tell me if your future partner fits this list. And then they're really sure. Because a lot of times when you ask, and I've asked that and I've had the I don't know answer, when you say you don't know, the universe cannot bring it to you. It just sits there drumming its finger on the table, waiting for you to make a decision because it's your servant. It's your man servant, woman servant, whatever kind of servant you want to call it. The universe will go out, it will get what you want, and it'll bring it to you. Now, if you say, I'd like Mr. Tall, Dark, and Handsome, and he says, okay, and it starts to go, and then you say, oh, hang on a second, maybe I'd like him to be blonde. It'll come back, listen to you, and say, oh, blonde, okay, it'll go to get. And then you say, oh, hang on, maybe I like him to be tall. And so it keeps going back and forth, so it really brings you what you want. So it's important for us to be absolutely clear about what we want.
Absolutely,
and
Sonia.
Funny thing is, you always end up with your parent. Yay!
That's the truth.
You always do. You will end up with the negative aspect of your parent, and then eventually you'll end up with the positive. So because that's the only way you've defined relationship is your relationship with that parent. And so you will actually start searching for that aspect of yourself. So when the person comes into your life, be aware, there are lots of men who are good there are a lot of guys out there who are highly intuitive and they can read you like a book. They pretend like they can't, but they can read you like a book. And they will morph into an image. And you keep looking at it, huh? Wow, God is looking good. Oh, wow, he's looking good. And you keep looking and he keeps morphing and shifting. If you focus long enough, you'll start to see the shapeshifters that come into your life. And then you can say, okay, am I willing to spend my time with a shapeshifter, or am I going to go find someone solid? But most of us, we close our eyes when we meet the person. Just so we know, just in case we see something we don't want to see.
I like that view of making a list out of what you want and how you want it. Recently on the coffee shop, we had a guest on there, and she had wrote a new book called Three Men, One Woman, and she talked about listing that out and breaking it down into the categories. And because I did a review on the book also, so I read it and actually listened to it, and it's really interesting because then you start seeing the type of people you want. Example, hers was the professor, the lover, and the handyman. And eventually she found a guy that was a professor and a lover, but wasn't the handyman, so she just hired a handyman. But I could really understand getting that point of starting to look at how your life fits. I mean, example, I can't stand someone that is attached to me at the hip. Calling me 100 times, texting me 100 times. No, not really. Cannot stand it. Drives me insane. I'm too busy for that. So, as soon as they start that, let me attach to you, it's like, back away. And that's just my personality.
You take out the firebrand.
Yeah, I get the pitchfork out and go, block, 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 block. Because my lifestyle won't handle that. So if someone's really super needy, they're not going to be able to work in my world. And that's something that, people have to look at when they're dating, starting to look for the date is, how does this person respond to me? Are they like blowing my Snapchat up or my phone up every time they, get a chance, or they're liking everything on my Facebook? That's like I have another rule. Nobody's allowed, if I'm dating you, you're not on my Facebook. I think that is like one of the hardest things, because everybody wants to be on your Facebook or on your Twitter feed, and it's like, no, I don't know you yet. Why are you connected to my Facebook?
Yeah, I don't have that.
I don't have that problem. No, Snap!
What do you think, Esmeralda, about social media and how it's implying, how it's influencing dating?
It's starting to surprise me that I get more and more questions about why did this one or that one post whatever on their Facebook page. Are they with this girl? Do they like this girl? Do they like them better than me? They're asking for card readings about Facebook postings of somebody that they like, or if I send them a comment or a message, how are they going to react to me on Facebook or whatever social media they're talking about. So it seems to be a way of people looking for validation, or to understand how someone really feels about them or thinks about them. And oh my gosh, it's just, I tell them, don't go to that person's page. If it's somebody that you're interested in romantically, you can't tell. Don't take those things at face value. Don't take Facebook at face value. That's for darn sure.
Exactly.
Because you don't know, if we can't trust our own eyes right away. Everybody describes a car accident in a different way. 5 different people are going to see it 5 different ways. So you're not going to go to somebody's Facebook page and see all the posts and pictures on it and them hugging somebody. Maybe it's their sister. And you're asking me for a reading, freaking out how they're all of a sudden with somebody else. So I'm getting more and more questions involving social media too, which is kind of weird. What do you think, Rainey?
I absolutely agree with you. In fact, it's interesting that you said that, because I deal with that all the time. And, they're getting upset. They're wanting to know who this person is. And it's like, well, this person isn't anybody of significance. But You're taking your energy and you're bringing that negative energy and that insecurity, lack of security into the
Yeah.
relationship.
Yes.
That dooms the relationship before it's even had a chance to start, or even if it has started. So yeah, you can't go there. You know, I'm not saying that eventually you can't be on Facebook with each other. I think that would be appropriate, but you can't make that your way of trying to learn about this person. It really needs to go back to the basics. Know somebody one-on-one, whether initially a relationship starts off long distance, you're doing Skype because that's how you met them, or if you're in, you know, in the physical, living nearby and getting to know each other. It's got to be on that level. You know, so many times other people interfere with relationships.
Yes.
Sometimes it's because they literally interfere with the relationships because you hang out with people who like to gossip and get involved in things and have their opinions. And sometimes it's because everybody's on Facebook and everybody's putting on all their stuff. Well, if you're not really dealing with your insecurities,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to drive you crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, what happens when you say to that same person, well, did you ask them? Did you ask, you know, Mr. Wonderful who that is, or why, you know, what's the deal with them hugging on the photo on Facebook, and why did she put it up there? Ask them, oh, but I don't want to. I don't want to.
Yeah, you get that too. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to. Well, if you don't want to, don't look. You got to not look.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because all you're doing is you're bringing up energy that may not necessarily be anything you need to worry about, and most likely isn't most of the time.
Yeah, and you know that's why I have my Facebook rule, and is you're not getting on it, you know, just because I'm dating you. But you know, I also find that you know people are a lot of times when the tarot starts talking about letters, or you know, because you know some of the older meanings have letters in them, they're now talking about Facebooking and texting because you know the tool is adapting to it. You know, and a lot of people are getting it totally took in with that and putting more importance on it than anything else. And or now the new thing is ghosting. If the first date doesn't go right, they just disappear. And that's never good either. You know, at least say you had a great time, but I don't think we're a match, or something to that effect. And then, you know, don't just drop them. That's always been rude.
That is a huge mistake, especially early on, because if you can't establish honest, authentic communication with someone, how do you expect to have a relationship with anybody if that's just it makes it sets up a pattern of abuse. You know, you're abusing the other person, you're abusing your own energy, you're abusing yourself, and what I mean by that is you're just making yourself into someone who just is using people. And so how does that allow love into a situation? It doesn't. Or the potential for love. If you start out from the get-go saying, all right, I'm going to judge this person, and I'm just, you know, there I have never been with anybody I was able to trust, you know, and I just know they're probably going to be a jerk, but we'll just see anyway, and they probably are, but we'll maybe just go out one time. Well, you're the jerk, and and you're going to make that self-fulfilled prophecy happen. That's what I mean by abusing yourself. You're not even giving yourself a chance to be loved, and I see that a lot too.
Right. What I'd like to say, and while both of you were talking, this was kind of going through my head a little bit here, back to what Asen said, you know, with respect to somebody just disappears without any explanation. Well, probably one of the greatest experiences I ever had through the dating process was this man who asked me out for 3 years. I wasn't interested, so finally our friends set us up on a community date. Nice man. We just didn't have that chemistry. But we had a really nice time, and he was very respectful. And he called me back the appropriate 2 days later and said, you know, I really enjoyed our date. but you know, I've made a decision. I'm trying to work out a relationship from the past, and I just wanted to let you know. And what I really liked about that is that he bothered to call me and say, this is where I'm at. Fortunately, I didn't really have strong feelings towards him, so it was okay, but it was the fact that he respected me enough to do that. And this is what happens when people just disappear. Just be honest. Hey, it's not working out for me right now. This isn't where I'm at. But can I call you at some point? Would that be okay? When things are better in my life or whatever's going on, you know, keeping those things in mind. You know, when somebody just disappears, like you said, you know, with respect to younger people, they don't understand. It's like, what happened? I thought everything went fine. I thought we had a wonderful time. Now this person won't answer my calls. Well, don't call. First of all, okay? Understand that it's a lack of, I feel like it's a lack of integrity and a lack of maturity on their part. We're all people. We should be able to communicate. And I do think that people have gotten away from being really good about communicating even on a simple level. It's like, okay, I can just disappear. Okay, how's that feel when that happens to you?
How selfish have people become? You know, how selfish have
exactly.
become?
Yeah. It's not a big deal to say, hey, I really enjoyed our time together, but you're not necessarily the person for me. Yeah, you do have a responsibility to try to not take that personal.
Right.
You know, but if they're saying that, they're probably not the person for you.
Right.
Because as you well know, when they're the person, it's like zing zang. Hello.
And yes, it does happen sometimes like that out of the blue.
You know, another thing, and I'll make this short because I want to give somebody else an opportunity to talk. We were talking about, Asen, you were talking about getting to know somebody for 30 days online before, you know, maybe going out. You know, I give certain advice with respect to how long somebody should actually communicate with them outside of just email. I do think that they need to do that before 30 days. I feel like, okay, it's one thing to be talking and communicating via through mail at first or chat, but I do think you need to have a limited time where, okay, we need to talk on the phone because you need to get that next connection level going there, because I think that energy is important to be able to connect with. What's your thought on that, Miss Sophia?
Sophia's not here, honey. You mean Sonia.
Oh, I do that too all the time, sweetie.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Well, Sophia is the Greek or Roman Sonia. Asen, I'll jump into that in a second. I think there's a question, Asen.
Yes, ma'am, there is. Okay, H wants to know. He says, well, I have feelings for someone that has a girlfriend. I'm not really sure that there's a relationship is. I know my gut that we have something special together, but I don't want to be that girl. Do I stay away from him and disconnect the friendship, or what? We'll go to Sonia first and kind of get a weigh in here.
We always are drawn to someone who is unavailable when we are afraid of being hurt. And the magnetic force is so intense that you can't, you would just tear down the house, tear down the world, rip those two apart just to get that guy. There's an old movie about a woman who was studying psychic ability, and I'm sorry I'm going into this because it's, because when you get it, Jamaican statement, wanty, can't get it, no wanty, and it's patois. So those who want it the most find out that they can't get it, and those who get it a lot, they decide they don't want it. And the person that you're wanting, that you think you're so drawn to, that person is hot and delicious and yummy because you don't have to handle them. Okay, so I'm going to suggest, and I always tell it straight up, sweetie, I'm going to suggest that you take a breather, take a deep breath, step back, and do that list that I was talking about. Pros and cons. What do you like? What do you don't like about this person? Don't focus on the person they're with. And once you've done the list, Look at them and say, now what would it be like if that person were living in my world? What would it be like? How would I feel? And then if you find yourself getting scared in the tummy, you know you're barking up the wrong tree. So I think you need to go back, do some homework, and check to see. Because the thing that you don't want can sometimes be the most delicious thing. It's like looking at that chocolate cake, then you put it in your mouth and it tastes like dust. So, I'll pass it on to TJ. You can join in and add a few things.
Well, I'm gonna pull a little card on this, shall I? See what the cards have got to say.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just remind me of the question again, Ace, and just the actual question?
She's attracted to someone that already has a girlfriend. She doesn't want to be that girl that comes in between, a relationship, or be what they used to call a home breaker. She wants to know if she should keep the friendship or disconnect completely.
Okay.
The friendship is hard to keep when you have that intense feeling.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is a little bit interesting. Let me just bring up PodCam here. What we have here is we've got the King of Diamonds and we have the Seven of Diamonds. Now, I'm going to say, based on these cards and based on what I'm getting, I think it's best to sort of take a step back, but keep the friendship. Just don't be as friendly as you normally would be. That probably sounds like the worst advice ever. But what I mean by that is if you keep on communicating, you're just going to keep yourself in this loop of being attracted to this person and being too scared to sort of overstep the line in a way. But if you completely cut the friendship off, what I'm getting here is that you're always going to kind of be like, you're always going to be, you're going to regret it. You're going to kick yourself, basically. It would drive you a little bit crazy, for lack of a better word. Neptune's showing up in the cards here, and Neptune's all about our deep thoughts and diving into that. And I feel like you would just drive yourself more crazy by cutting the friendship off completely. So keep the friendship, but take a step back is what I'm getting here. What do you get, Resmeranda?
Oh, I get something very similar. I have the Tower card and the Six of Swords. I pulled a couple of cards too, just because to be like you.
Yay!
Besties. Yes, besties. But what the Tower card indicates is an unexpected event, and usually something that isn't very pleasant. I was trying to put my card cam up, but I can't do it. But anyway, when we see the Tower card, it's like something big, lightning strikes us, which can be a good thing or a bad thing. Sometimes we want lightning to strike us because, love, rockets, and all that stuff. Lightning works. But when we also have the Six of Swords along with it, it means something that you're going to probably want to get away from. Yeah. Meaning a long, lessons learned, long, hard lessons learned. And so we're supposed to learn things, but we're also not supposed to do things the hard way. In other words, your free will exists in order to make intelligent choices. Now, that may sound stupid in the context of a love situation when it's a heart question, but we make intelligent decisions so our heart doesn't get hurt if we can help it. We're not perfect. We're going to make mistakes, and it's not wrong to love someone, but it's what you do about it after the fact. It's what you do with that love. Maybe loving this person for you should really mean you love him enough to appreciate and bless his relationship with the person that he's with.
Right.
And to allow that to play out if it's going to, and to allow yourself to be happy and send them both love in the meantime, because frankly, you don't know what's going to happen. And it's not up to you to try to make something happen, because that's only a negative. People who try to split up things. So don't think just because you care for someone that you're a homebreaker or that you're a bad person. That's not true at all. What would make that true is if you were the person that we talked about before that tried to come between those two people. And that's not what you're doing. So for now, just for now, put yourself in a place of love and just say, all right, I'm going to send them both love, and I'm going to appreciate what they have, and maybe they'll love me back for it and maybe they won't, but I'm going to be happy, and I'm going to allow the universe to handle it for right now, because that part's not my job.
Right.
and I'm just going to send love to the whole situation, and that's going to make you feel better, because you're creating guilt for yourself that is unnecessary, frankly. So be more loving to yourself too right now. Okay?
Okay. Rainey, you got something to throw onto the pile?
That's like a little bit of, what's going on. What I'm picking up here is it's really tiny into a little bit of what I hear. And it's really true. First of all, you have to allow their relationship to happen, okay? Because any on your part, you can't go there. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're not being a friend. You can still talk, but I do agree with the distance there. See what the universe has to bring you. Maybe there's a wonderful relationship that's being brought in for you. Maybe their relationship won't work out, and maybe you will be brought back together again. But maybe this experience of walking away and giving them that love is something that you just couldn't even imagine with somebody else. And I agree. Don't waste the energy to feeling guilty about something you haven't even done.
Yeah.
Caring about somebody and loving somebody, like you said, that's a wonderful thing. You're respecting this person and their relationship enough that you're even concerned about it, okay? So I agree. Step back, see what the universe is bringing in for you. Maybe it's something completely different. Maybe it's something completely different temporarily. But when you interfere, all that does is put negative energy on any potential relationship if you were to go in a relationship with this person.
Yeah. It's funny. You ever see those movies where the girl turns away from the guy and runs into the guy who becomes her future husband? That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. Her future husband is standing right behind her. So if she keeps away from this person that she has the feelings for, she's going to run into this new person. Yeah, just as Rainey said, there's someone else right behind her, but she can't see him because her eyes are on this other individual.
Okay. H says, thanks. You guys are awesome. Love you. She agreed with a lot was said. And we have another one coming in from P. And P says, have read for P, so I'm going to stay the mediator on this one. When do you see her real mate coming into the pictures, or anything about him? And we're going to start off with TJ.
When do we see her real mate coming into the picture?
Yes.
Okay, you're going to have to clarify that for me, because mate means something slightly different in the UK. That means a friend.
Yes.
Soulmate.
So, okay, let's have a look. All right, let's have a look. Let's pull a card for when. Let me just bring up card cam, because I'm showing off.
I like your card cam. This is a great addition.
They are.
Let's see. Let's pull a card for when. We'll see if we can get you a little bit of timing. And Rezi, I hope you're shuffling, because you're always very good at following on from.
I am
from
shuffling.
Me.
I am.
Shuffle on, girlfriend. Right.
Already.
And let's get a card for a little bit about him as well. Okie dokie. Right. What I get for when is I'm going to be really, I'm just going to cut to the chase. I get next spring, okay? But when I see coins and when I see the ace of coins, I see, diamonds, I see spring, and the ace usually indicates the beginning of spring. So I'm feeling more energy for this coming in next year. So you've got a few months to sort of prepare yourself for this coming in and be ready for it coming in and know that it's coming in, and do the lists and things that we were speaking about before. I feel like that this exercise that Sonia gave us earlier on was a very good exercise. So you could be doing all that in the meantime, making lists for what you want and don't want, pros and cons. And for a little bit about him, I'm seeing here, I get a lot of fire energy around him, so he's probably a fire sign. But I'm getting here that he's going to probably be a little bit guarded at first. I get somebody who's been very much wounded in the past a little bit, and I feel like you're almost going to be a little bit like, I can't believe I'm saying these words, but you're almost going to be a bit like a healing angel for him in a way. You're going to sort of bring him out of his shell. He's somebody who's very much in a shell. He's sort of built a bit of a fence around him, and I feel like you're going to be pulling these clubs away, pulling these 7 clubs away and letting him out of his shell a little bit. What did you get with that, Rosie?
Well, I get that it's somebody who needs to be secure. Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
That he's somebody that's going to find security in this relationship and looking for a secure relationship, as are you, which means that you're peas in a pod, and people who are on the same frequency have a tendency to find each other, and that's exactly what's going to happen. I'm getting a springtime as well, too, as far as, so that would make it next spring because it's summer already.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So first we see the 4 of Discs, and then we see the Queen of Swords, which tells me just real quickly that winter passes, and then the Emperor. So it's next spring, but it's all about getting your ducks in a row. And did you know that time is a tool? Time and patience are both tools to allow things to happen when they're supposed to for both people that are involved. So don't be in a hurry. And this is, you've asked Spirit for your security, and so has he, and your answer is it's there for you, and it's being set up for you, and it takes time. And you would say to me probably, oh yeah, but it's true, I am so impatient. That's why Spirit says to me that it takes time, and this is the amount of time it will take. And when it happens, you know how if you try and make something happen quicker, or you force something, you always wish you hadn't. I mean always. Something goes wrong with it or them, or it doesn't work out the way you wanted to. Like trying to bake a cake, and you went too fast, and you took it out of the oven too soon, and you mixed up the ingredients too fast, and you left out the most important thing, which would be the sugar or the eggs or whatever. You have to allow things to happen when they're supposed to happen, so that you will have the fullest blessing and the fullest experience from that. Spirit doesn't do anything halfway, not a single thing. So why in the world wouldn't it be worth waiting for, is Spirit's message for you. So you're going to have it. It is there. Rejoice in that fact and enjoy that. And the security, Spirit says, I hear you about the security. I just keep getting that word, security, security, security. Spirit says, like, get it already. It's there, and you will have it, and you will be it, and be secure in knowing that is on its way for you. Okay?
Okay. Rainy, Sonia?
I'm happy to go next if you'd like me to.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I just love it because you guys just say so much. It's like, yeah. Okay, I agree with the timing here, but I also agree with this being very, very important time period for, kind of really starting to clean. I always go back to that same old verb, cleaning the closet, cleaning out all the icky stuff, the stuff that you've held on to from the past, and that is most definitely relations. That's most definitely insecurities, things that you don't feel so well about yourself. This is really just helping to prep you to being that wonderful partner who's ready for that great person to come in, who's going to, share and love and appreciate you for exactly who you are. That's a new experience for you. That's a new experience for you because you haven't always felt that way, okay, with respect to past relationships here. So, although this may seem, it's a little bit longer, I'm ready now, I don't know, and, the trust and being able to trust that that's really going to come forward and happen. You got to clean out the closet. Love yourself. Such a cliche. I know we all hate to hear it. But you got to go there. You got to go there. Because, wow, when they come in, this is, you hate to say it's like magic, but it is like magic. It is perfect, okay? Perfect because it's like we are the yin and the yang, and we are blending. But I'm ready for this now. And I'm talking about during that springtime period when they come in. So that's what I have to add to this.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Miss Sonia?
He's a Leo who is a musician. So there you go.
That works. So, Miss Sonia, what are you doing on Sunday?
I'll be in Vancouver. I fly out in about 7 hours. I have to leave home in 7 hours to get to the airport. So I'm heading over to Vancouver, the other side of Canada, the Pacific coastline. For those of you who don't know where Vancouver is, which you should do because the Olympics was there. But I'm going to be visiting with my daughter who just moved into her new home. So I will set up a show then, and I don't know what it will be, but I'm sure Vancouver Energy will actually come along and tell me some stuff, what to say, which will be quite fun. Last Sunday I had a show which I had a guest and totally went right out of my head, so I did a makeup show on Monday, which turned out to be good. So, I just follow the journey as I usually do. I am on Psychic.biz from time to time. This week is going to be challenging to be there, but I'm usually open, or as I said, send me an email and I'll hook up.
And, then you're now on Tuesdays on the Psychic Coffee Shop.
Yes, and that's... Oh, TJ was on today with me, and we had a wonderful conversation about psychics and the importance of psychics in your life. So you guys need to go and check that out because I think it was a spectacular show.
It was wonderful.
Yeah. Oh, were you there?
I heard you.
Thank you. Yeah, it was great.
Yep, and then, let's see, Rainey, you're coming over with me on the coffee shop this week, so what are we talking about?
Oh, put me on the spot. I don't know, but I know we will have a great topic figured out by tomorrow night. Yes, we'll be doing that definitely on Wednesday. And then I've got something I'm doing this weekend with respect to energy work and a course that I'm taking. And then I have to go hang out with my other son up in Longmont, Colorado, because we're going to be going and doing wedding stuff.
Fun, fun.
And then I'm getting ready for a trip here in about a week or so. So between all that, we're keeping kind of busy. And of course, I am on Psychic.biz every day, usually during the daytime. That's most of the time when you're going to find me on there. And that's my week.
All right, and we'll move on to Rose Miranda, who's Friday nights at 9 till 11. Yeah. 2 hours this month.
That's right. I'm gonna go for it. We're gonna talk about. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about maybe on Radio Tarot at the Psychic Coffee Shop online. See, I have to keep practicing saying that because I'll mess it up. Maybe we'll talk about mind reading this week. What do you think?
Oh, I like that. I hope you get back to that mentalism that you were talking about a few weeks ago that's now in our archives.
Oh, well, request granted. Dang, your wish is granted then. We'll do that.
Because, what was it? It's a book, and it's through McGiskey's. He wrote like one whole book on mentalism, and everything else was in just a little pamphlet.
Yes. The
Kabbalion.
Yes. There's so much to that. And tarot is so connected to that, it's unreal.
Yep.
Funny you should bring that up. So you got it.
Yep, and then on Saturdays, TJ's got a show running, and what are you spinning this week?
Oh, I've got an action-packed show this week at Soul Prepared. I'm ashamed of you all. I'm going to smack all your bottoms not being
Look at
prepared. I really am. we're gonna be talking about general card reading on my show. I'm going to give everybody a card reading exercise. It doesn't matter what kind of deck that you've got. So if you don't have a deck yet, go to the dollar store and just pick up any pack of cards that you like. And we're going to talk about the importance of having a working deck for giving readings. And I'm going to give you a moon magic exercise, and then we're going to have callers having mini readings and having a bit of a chit chat as well.
Yep. Cool.
That's smart.
And, Conversations with Asen is on Thursday night, and that's when you guys become my co-host, and we get your feedback and stuff. And let me see, this week, I think we're going to talk about self-worth and how to build that, because I see so much of that not being around anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll talk about self-worth. And then Divine Angel is now on Sundays at 10 p.m. And Divine Angels is a really good show. It's Angel Messages and Communications. And last week she had a really nice meditation, and I hope she'll do something like that again. She couldn't join us tonight, but she has been in the chat room very active with us, so hopefully she'll be back with us next week. Okay, guys, until next Tuesday, this has been Psychic.biz Live, and please remember the coupon code SUMMER16, where you get $5 free, and all new clients get $5 free with any of us. We're all available there for chat, phone, or video. Until then, have a great week, y'all, and join us on our shows. Bye!
Bye-bye.
Bye.